Hi, I'm Mick Crossland. We're at the Combat Academy today doing some drills for Warrior Collective. I'm working with my young fighter Owen Deakin. He's a young K1 campaigner. Hopefully you'll see him out on the circuit very soon. We're going to be looking specifically today at how you can use lead leg attacks the same way a boxer uses his jab. So the concept of the jab in boxing is that all the work comes from the jab and we always return back to the jab, that being a safety place where we can unbalance and unsettle opponents, keep them busy and keep the mind occupied while we're lining up as more high volume or high impact shots. We like to do the same, but what we like to do is have lots of variety. If you just stick to the jab, or sometimes people stick to the jab and one lead leg kick, it does the job, but it's easy to work out. But if you can have a variety of these types of attacks and you throw them in volume throughout a fight where you're mixing techniques that are effectively doing the same thing, unbalancing and distracting his opponent, what you can do is control the rhythm of a fight. Many times if you watch fighting, you'll see great fighters nullified and look quite ordinary in a certain fight, and the answer usually is, oh, they had a bad day at the office or whatever. Usually in my experience it's because their opponent understood how to cancel out their work, and one very effective way of cancelling out someone's work is to have a variety of distraction techniques. So we call this the fight before the fight. So the real fight is when an exchange is happening and people are going back and forth and they're looking for damaging shots. In between that, there's either nothing happening, or if you understand how to control the rhythm of a fight, you can be what is happening. And this is kind of like the pretend fight, the fight where you're just showing them little things, manoeuvring, vying for position, working your foot, your space, your footwork, and looking for the real fight when it comes. Okay, so controlling the rhythm, controlling the pace, unbalancing, unsettling, and distracting his opponent. Okay, so we can do that with the jab. A lot of people do that with the jab and the lead leg. Sometimes it's the jab and the lead leg teep. We like to have a bit more variety of techniques that all do the same thing to distract our opponent. So first of all, a simple one is, we touched on it on an earlier video, is the left snap round kick, just lifting up in a chambered position, snapping through the centre line and unbalancing his opponent. The key to this is just like a jab, it can't have any tail, load or step or set, any way of setting it up, it's just going to be instant pop. Okay, so we've got the snap round kick. Okay, nice and quick. And if you're moving around and your opponent's trying to set himself and fight, and you keep flicking that out at him, changing position, flicking that out at him, in between the other work that you're trying to inject into the fight, you can unsettle your opponent. So that's one great way of using the lead leg as a jab. Another way is to use the same kind of kick to the inside of the thigh. To make this really effective, what we need to do is not just touch the target, but we need to kick through it, so we at least unsettle that lead leg. That'll hold his opponent still for a second while we line up either his next move or his next technique. And I'm just going to let him kick the inside of the leg for this one, so it's just a little one here, and it's really important. So he's stepping in there. Sometimes he's stepping, sometimes he'd not step at all. Sometimes he's stepping, he'd exit that way as well, so he can control the ring positioning as well. So we'll show a few variations. So we're doing little ones where he spins out. Sometimes he might flip the hand at my guard to distract me while he scores the inside, okay? And it's just annoying little touching techniques that's distracting his opponent, drawing his mind and his attention down before the next one, which might come up, okay? Another great lead leg variation that you don't see all too often is the Sidekick, okay? We need to lift the knee up and across to the side and drive the hip, and we're striking either with the heel, or you can do like what's like a side teep where you kind of strike with the toes a little bit as well. I don't mind either way. The heel's more damaging but harder to land. The one with the toes is more like, it's like a side teep where you're just pushing and shoving your opponent off balance, okay? But the heel is definitely the more damaging. So we've got the side kick as well. And the thing about it is, if you're blending all this together with a plethora of techniques, what you can do is you side kick to the body a few times, get them into that pattern, and every now and again you can come up to the top, and side kick to the face, which is very damaging. And then one last technique that we like to blend in with our single or very basic techniques to unbalance and unsettle his opponent, it's not the lead leg, this is like a bonus technique, it's a teep, it's a rear teep. Now, to use it as a jab, it needs to work differently. You'd work more into the mid or close range, and at this range no one's expecting a teep. We need to lift the knee really high, and we need to aim to score with a bent leg and drive into a straight leg position so we unsettle his opponent. And again, it's got to work like a jab, so it can't have a big step, it can't have a big knee lift, it's a short little compact extension, so it looks like this. Okay, so you can see all these kicks come up really easy. Okay, side kick, inside. All these need to be short and fast because they're sharp like a jab. And then when you blend that with your normal basic techniques, perhaps it could be a straight jab, could be a straight cross, could be a little tap to a bang like this. What you've got then is you've got a variety of techniques that we work in between the main bit of the fight to unsettle and unbalance his opponents. I'll show you how we work those in variety. So we're moving around, he's just going to touch with the jab, getting in position, tap tap, move around, then a little inside low kick, then the jab, then the side kick, then the snap, up cross. So what we're doing, we're getting a nice little rhythm of little techniques that we can put together, single shots or a couple of shots together to unsettle, unbalance and destabilize his opponent while we're thinking about our next move. So there were different ways you can use the lead leg as a jab. We also took the little bonus technique of the short range rear T to the face as well. And we talked about how you can vary those up to unsettle our opponent's rhythm. So I hope you found that helpful. If you want to know more about how we train, visit thecombatacademy.org.uk or find us on Facebook. And we'd just like to say thank you to the Warrior Collective for featuring us today as well. Thank you.